You've told them your limit, you explained it clearly and calmly, and yet they keep pushing anyway. And that's the part that really messes with you, because after a while, it's not just annoying, it's exhausting. You start wondering, did I explain it wrong? Or am I asking for too much? But here's the truth most people never tell you. There's one very specific reason people ignore your boundaries, and it has nothing to do with how clearly you explain yourself. It's about them, and once you see it, you'll never take boundary pushback personally again. In this video, I will break down the real reason people keep crossing the line, and I will give you the exact words to shut it down without guilt or drama starting today. Let's be honest for a second. When someone crosses a boundary you've set, it doesn't feel like a small thing. It feels disrespectful, like they heard you and chose to ignore you anyway. That kind of thing drains you, it builds resentments. And if it keeps happening, it can honestly make you regret ever speaking up in the first place. A lot of us were raised to keep the peace, to be agreeable, or to not upset anyone. So the moment someone reacts badly to our boundary, guilt kicks in fast. You start thinking, maybe I should just let it go, or maybe their needs matter more than mine. And if you have spent years being low priority to other people, setting a boundary can feel like you're breaking some invisible rule about being a good person. So when you finally say, this is what I need, and they just ignore it, the self-doubt hits hard. You start questioning yourself instead of questioning the behavior. But here's the important part. Your boundary isn't the problem, the pushback is. And once you understand why the pushback happens, everything changes. So why do people really push your boundaries? One reason every time. I call it the control test. Here's what's happening beneath the surface. The moment you set a boundary, you change the rules of the relationship even if you don't say it out loud. The dynamic shifts, and if someone benefited from the old version of you, the version that didn't push back, they feel that shift immediately, so they test it. Not always consciously or maliciously, most of the time it's automatic. Without saying it directly, they're asking, is this boundary real? Are you actually serious? Will you fold if I push just a little? For some people, this test comes from fear. Fear of losing control or being abandoned. And for others, especially those with fragile egos, your boundary feels like rejection. And for many people, it's just a habit, in a way that it has worked for them before, so they try it again. Here's the key shift you need to make. When someone tests your boundaries, it's not a judgment on your worth. It's a reaction to losing access. They are testing the fence. Your job is to show them it's electric. If that idea just clicked for you, stay with me because understanding the test is step 1. Step 2 is knowing exactly how to respond without over-explaining or backing down. Make sure to subscribe and watch the entire video because I promise what I'm about to tell you will give you the words people wish you didn't have. Passing the control test isn't about being aggressive, it's about having a broken record of calm, assertive consistency. Your goal is to calmly repeat your position until they get the message that the boundary isn't moving. Let's break down the most common tactics people use to test you and how to shut each one out. The most manipulative tactic they use is the guilt trip. This is when they try to make you feel selfish for having a need. And you'll hear things like, if you really cared about me, you would, or I can't believe you're being so difficult. Your goal is to acknowledge their feelings without accepting the guilt. In this situation, what you could say is, I understand you're disappointed, but this isn't about how much I care for you, this is about what I need, and my decision stands. Now let's look at the most dismissive tactic they use, the minimizer. This is where they tell you that you're overreacting, you're too sensitive, it's not that serious. They think in their mind, if I downplay it, maybe you'll doubt yourself. If they said this to you, just say, it may not feel like a big deal to you, but it is to me, and I need you to respect that. That's it, no debate. Next is the most sneaky tactic, the justice once bargain. They accept your boundary in theory, but immediately ask for an exception. Let me make it clear for you with an example. I know you don't work after 6 p.m., but can you just look at this one quick thing? They're testing if your rule has loopholes. For example, you can say to them, I'm sticking to my 6 p.m. cutoff so I can recharge. I'll handle it first thing tomorrow. And finally, the most aggressive tactic is the steamroller. This person simply pretends they didn't hear you. They ignore the boundary and just keep pushing forward with their original request, hoping to break you. This is where you become a calm, broken record. Do not JADE. Instead, keep it short and say it again. You should answer like this. As I said, I'm not able to do that. If they ask why, a simple "that doesn't work for me" is a complete answer. Repeat it as needed until they stop. Here is something I really want you to let sink in. Pushback is not a sign that your boundary is wrong. It's a sign that your boundary was necessary. Their reaction is because the dynamic changed and they felt it. Every time you hold the line, you're teaching people how to treat you, not with the speeches, through consistency. This is not a one-and-done conversation. It's a practice. The first few times will feel shaky, they might get angry or act hurt, but you should stay calm and you put your boundary. Your consistency is what gives your words power. If this video helped you, please give a thumbs up and share it with someone who really needs to hear this. I also really want to hear from you. What's the biggest boundary you're struggling with right now? Drop a comment below and let's support each other. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.